do have 3 children together.
Yes.
Harper's your first.
Harper's my first.
And she made you work hard for her.
She did. She was, you know, you think it's your God-given right to fall pregnant.
You do, yeah.
And then you start and you spend so much of your life, having worked on Dolly and then Cosmo, you spend all of this time going, I don't want to get pregnant, I don't want to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And, you know, being on the pill or taking the morning after pill or just like keeping penises away so you don't get pregnant. And then you decide I'm ready. And when it doesn't happen, the first couple of tries, you're like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And so we tried for a year and a half to get Harper, and went with 1 miscarriage. And it was when I finally, and I'm a control freak in that sense. Like my poor husband, I'd sign him up to do every test under the sun, and you've got to go give this sample and do this. And he lovingly went along with my craziness.
But a year and a half, you would go, okay, this isn't happening.
Yeah. And so it was only when we signed up to do IVF that the month before the first IVF appointment, I fell pregnant with Harper.
Wow. That's exactly the same as Stacey. She signed up, she was going to her first appointment and found out she was pregnant.
Do you know what I think it is? I've since thought, I reckon it's because you're trying and it's like you're watching the kettle boil.
Yeah.
And the minute you kind of almost give in to going, you know what, let's take it out of my hands and we're going to go to IVF, and that's just the path we're going to take.
Yeah.
And it was almost so relaxed because I thought, okay, you know what? We're going to do IVF.
Yeah.
And so maybe that month we weren't having like, we must fall pregnant sex.
Yeah.
It was just kind of normal, and
it's funny, isn't it? Because it's different for Brooke. Had her little girl through IVF, and it was quite grueling. And I just, you know, that was hard for her sometimes when people go, just relax and just, you know, do your acupuncture.
Okay, I was going to punch people in the face if they told me to relax and stop thinking about it and just make it romantic. It's like having sex when you're trying for a baby and you've been trying for a while, is so not sexy or romantic.
No.
It's quick. My cervical mucus tells me I'm ovulating, and I've spat on this and I've peed on that. And
what did you use? I used
the microscope.
Loved it. Zoe put me onto that. I think.
I put Zoe onto it.
Oh, okay, so it came from you then.
Happy
Thank
to
you.
have passed it down. No, but I did everything. I was the girl that would walk into the chemist and go, "What do we got in the ovulation field that I could buy?"
Yeah.
And so I did all of that, and it's hard, like it's so hard. And then I would be at work and it would be like, you know, it's that thing when you're going to buy a car and you decide, oh, I'm going to buy a red Audi, and then everywhere, and you go outside and you see red Audis everywhere. Yeah. So it was like that. I decided I really want to be pregnant. Why am I falling pregnant? And then it would be, lift doors would open and 4 pregnant women would walk out at me, or I'd be walking down the street and all these pregnant women pushing prams, and I'd be like, selfish. You've already got one in the pram and you've got one in your tummy. Selfish. I can't even get one. So it was a big lesson as well in kind of that you don't get what you want when you want it, and that it's really hard. And I'm fortunate in that I now have 3 beautiful, healthy children, and I had a small struggle, but that's nothing compared to what a lot of women go through. But it was still a big moment for me, and it was still really hard.